Welcome back, everybody, to another night of Pro League. It's Monday nights. Ace Match Mondays could be coming your way. My name is Valdez. With me tonight is Moonblade. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic as usual, Valdez. We've been casting a lot together lately. It's been a great time. Wolf's still in Japan for now. He'll be back sooner or later. But let's have a look at today's teams. We got Samsung Galaxy up against MVP to start things off. Pretty interesting match, Valdez.
Yeah, I like it. You know, I think MVP sitting at 6th right now, struggling to get those points, as many as they possibly can. Unfortunately, taking a loss here at first, Samsung the same. So I'd say right now these guys pretty evenly matched.
Yep.
And the same actually for our second match of the day, which is going to be SKT and CJ. A lot of very evenly matched games today.
Yeah, very close series for both. We could definitely see both go to ace matches as well, as you were saying. It is Ace Match Monday after all. And we're going to be starting with Solar versus GuMiho. A pretty interesting match. It's going to be on Deadwing, so one guess what we're going to see is Zerg versus Mech.
I would definitely agree with you there. Solar recently doing the 10 questions, 10 answers with Sojung. His English is incredible, actually.
Yeah, well, he's one of the most traveled Kesper players we have. You know, he's done a lot over the last few years. So not too surprising. Definitely a fan favorite as well.
Yeah. He talked a little bit about how he's been on a slump recently. He's trying to come back and show some good games. Unfortunately, like you were saying before, GuMiho might go mech, and he's very good at it, especially on Deadwing. I would definitely favor him going into this first matchup.
Yeah, that's a very safe bet. Recently, we did actually see Solar have some success overseas, but definitely was not in the ZVT matchup. And GuMiho, he is a beast, and it is Deadwing. Like, it's so obvious what he's going to be doing. And it's going to be so hard to stop.
So I'm really excited to see him coming in here for MVP. I'm just so excited to get this day started once again, Moonblade.
Absolutely, Valdez. It's just another day here at Pro League. I just can't wait to get into the games. I think we're going to be starting with one of those interviews first there, right?
Yeah, that's why we got Sojung here. Say hi, Sojung, to the
hey
fans.
Hey, guys. I'm here with the same hairstyle as Moonblade tonight. If you guys are capturing it.
Yeah,
here.
I think my hair might be a little bit better, Sojung. I'm not sure.
We don't know. We
definitely got more curls.
We'll have to see that Reddit thread tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a bit of a hair off, I think.
Yeah, here. I think we
do
might
that.
see the viewpoints first, or today's match first. So you can go ahead first.
Yeah, here's today's matchup: Samsung Galaxy Con versus MVP. As aforementioned, we got Solar going up against GuMiho here on Deadwing to start things off. Then we got Reality versus Younghwa, then Deer versus Losir, and then Bravo versus Marine King, who is back once again.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Bravo versus Marine King. You know, Marine King, obviously, he's been in a bit of a downward spiral ever since the faded Spine Crawler proxy game, which brought up a lot of accusations and drama.
Yes.
Hopefully he's got past that, though. And we're going to see him out here finally again, and up against a pretty interesting opponent, Bravo, someone we don't really see at all, except in the TVT matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be funny to have TVT on Coda. Even Marine King showing big weaknesses in this matchup before, whereas Bravo, very, very strong games. I remember he took a game off of Byung. Byung, also a very strong Terran player. Definitely favoring Bravo going into that matchup as well. But let's take a look here at the team rankings so far for round 3. Spenu, they did go up against Prime, so for now, they are tied up there at first place with CJ Antis +3.
Yeah, they're looking great, and we are going to see that CJ versus SKT today as well, so could be a bit of a shift there. Going to be a really interesting match. Obviously, Samsung and MVP are going to be trying to get a win on the board. It's only been 1 week so far, but these teams are really going to have to start lifting.
And here we go right into our winners rankings. Heroes still on top. Maru recently getting 2 wins, so he does go up there to 11-4. Also Rogue recently getting a win. Losir is playing today. He is not part of SK Telecom T1 though. So
I didn't even notice that. That's pretty funny.
We're taking a look at actually the next slide of our winners rankings, coming down here to 8, 7, 6, and even 5 wins. Flats down there in the south. So sad.
Anyways, here are the viewpoints that you guys always make fun of. Here is number 1. Will the champion Solar be victorious in the Pro League? Also, we've mentioned this in 10 questions and 10 answers. I don't know. And number 2 is first match of GuMiho in the 2015 season. How will he perform? And on 101 record in the 2015 season, I didn't even get to read the rest of the CGJ. What happened? Anyway, so this was the viewpoint. Let's talk to our head coaches. Let's see This is Stork and
감독님들을
Choya.
만나보겠습니다.
We'll just go right
송병구
ahead.
코치 이형섭 감독 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
자, 먼저 이형섭 감독에게
Gonna go ahead with Choya first.
엔트리가 나왔을 때 1세트에 강민수 선수 배치된 거 보고 어떤
Let's
생각이
see how he
드셨나요?
felt after he saw Solar first.
솔직히 좀 놀랬고요.
He says, I was really surprised. He was really surprised. He expected a
오히려
Protoss.
솔직히 좀 더 고맙게 생각하고 있어요.
I was actually kind of thankful because I was
좀 많이 안 지더라고요. 온라인 대회도 그렇고.
because on online tournaments we don't really GuMiho doesn't really lose a lot on online tournaments.
선수랑 하고 싶다 그래서 조난제
And
나가고 싶다 그래서
GuMiho wanted to go on Expedition Lost because he wanted to go against Solar and
삼성의 엔트리가
and we
일단은
did a little
맵에
mind trick
따른
and still
지난번
met
경기와
on the
비교했을
entry,
때
so we
맵에
kind of
따른
feel
선수도 다르고
happy.
종족도 다르거든요. 이런 엔트리를 봤을 때 이영석 감독이 느끼기에 상당히 까다로운지
And Goliath
아니면은 뭐
Monster
어떤
asked
평가를
about
내리고 있는지
Expedition
한번
Lost
알고
and the entry.
싶습니다.
How difficult it is.
무난하다고
And
생각하는데
he says second set and the fourth set is kind of so-so. It's okay, but the first set and the third set is, you know, kind of off the point. We don't know what's going to happen, and they expected Deer to come out on the third set, so they prepared a lot. And Stork said, let's ask Stork. Choya said, thank you. Let's see what he's got to say.
저희가 엔트리 이렇게 뭐 딱히 꼬은 것 같지는 않고요.
We didn't really play mind games with the entry, but it is good for specific race.
제 선수들을 믿고
but
이렇게 출전을 시켰고
I trust in my
민수
players.
같은 경우에는 우승을 하고 왔지만
And
프로리그에서
for
성적이 안
Solar,
좋기
although
때문에
he isn't good, doing good at
평소보다
Pro
더
League,
열심히
he
준비를
has
했어요.
been preparing much more for Pro
송병호 감독이
League, and that's
생각하기에
why I
이번
put him in the
3라운드
entry.
4강 안에 MVP가 될 것 같습니까? 네?
Do you think
이번
MVP
3라운드 4강
will
안에
make it
MVP가
into
합류할 것 같습니까?
fourth place? And he says no. Samsung says no to
그럼
MVP.
반대로 또 물어봐야겠죠.
And
이영석
let's
감독은 어떻게
ask MVP
생각하시나요?
if Samsung can make it.
어느 걸요?
둘 다요.
To
저희
both.
못 뜨면 삼성도 못 들어요.
If we can't go, Samsung can't go in fourth
알겠습니다.
place.
어찌됐든 양 팀의 그 감독
Well, anyway,
신경전도 살짝
this is a
있었거든요.
little bit
그
of
나머지
this,
신경전뿐만
little bit of trash
아니라
talk
멋진
here
뜨거운 경기를
going on.
통해서 멋진 경기 보여주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 인터뷰 감사합니다.
Anyways, this was a short interview, and I'll be going away, guys.
송병구 코치 그리고
Goodbye, Sojung. Thank you for the
Farewell.
Bye,
translation.
guys. See you guys later.
Made it sound
Bye.
like you're gonna fly away or something. It's kind of interesting, Sojung. But yeah, interesting interviews there with the two coaches. Both of them saying neither of us are going to make it.
It's kind of depressing, actually,
yeah.
Valdez. That's not the motivation you want or what you want to hear the coaches to say. Going into a play day, I'm a little nervous.
Oh yeah. Speaking about playoffs, now that we are at round of 3, I mentioned it a little bit before, but I think this is definitely a little bit more important for MVP. Like I said, they're in 6th place, but they're right behind. I think it's KT and
Yeah, they're behind KT, that's for sure. They're,
KT and someone else who's tied for 5th place.
might just be those two for now. I'm looking at currently tied 5th place with KT and MVP.
Something like that.
Something like that, Valdez.
MVP is very close
Let's
to
not
getting
get-
into 4th place. That's all I want to say.
let's
I'm
not
going to
get
put
too
that
ca-
on the table, and there we go.
Let's just slow it down, Valdez. Don't try and think too hard about this. So we can see these teams getting warmed up. 2 players starting off. GuMiho's Solar. We can go into that a little bit. Going to be an interesting match. Could be a pretty long-winded one as well.
Well, let's take a look at our predictions here.
Oh.
Seems like 4 of us going for GuMiho, 2 of us going for Solar. That is Jaemin-jun, the caster in the middle there for the Koreans, and also Kanata. And everybody knows they're on the left going for Solar.
Look at this accuracy rate, Valdez. This is after 1 week.
Yes.
I'm down at the bottom, man. I'm getting knocked off.
You're getting close, man.
I'm third
Although-
behind you guys.
What's really funny is that the 2 guys that voted for Solar are tied for the lowest percentage right now. So I don't know. I don't know,
I don't
Moonblade.
know, man. I think we know something they don't. But here we go. Here's Solar, 1-9.
That might actually be the worst record in Pro League right now. I'd love to take a look at, we have the winners rankings. I want to see the losers rankings because right now Solar is just not cutting it here in Pro League. He's come out so many times for Samsung Galaxy Con and just failed over and over and over again. Talked a little bit about a slump in those 10 questions, 10 answers, but it's sad to say it, but his recent failure here in Pro League is part of the reason why Samsung is not doing nearly as well as they did in last season.
Yeah, it is a big hit when you look at that kind of stats. In general, Samsung have not been doing very well over the last 2 rounds at least. And now looking at personal stats, he's even lost to GuMiho recently. Granted, they played in an online league. It was a limo league. He lost 2-4 to GuMiho. He did actually win the Gfinity Spring Masters 2 tournament recently, which is a pretty big achievement, but it was like 90% ZVZ. So let's just put that one aside. It's a good win, but it ain't Pro League, and it ain't against GuMiho's mech.
Yeah, for sure. GuMiho coming out here. It's going to be his first match in 2015 here in Pro League. Picking a great song. He's off to a good start.
I like
this song.
Yeah, this is a nice song. Great way to get into it. And GuMiho recently lost the grand finals of the most recent DreamHack to Parting, so he's had some success recently. He was overseas for a while, and
now he's back.
Besides that, he is back and he's ready. He's going to be repping his team, starting things off, see if he can set the pace for MVP.
It's funny they had the stat there of GuMiho versus Solar. GuMiho is up 30-12, including unofficial. These guys have played so many games offline and online, and they have a ton of history.
Yeah, they do. And Solar is going to have a pretty rough time against someone like GuMiho. Very surprised they put him out on Deadwing.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just that much better against Mech, or maybe he just thinks he's that good against GuMiho, or he just got him figured out. They do have a lot of history.
Well, guys, let's jump straight into the game. Game 1 here between Solar and GuMiho. Down here in the bottom right, in the blue, for Samsung Galaxy Con, it is Solar.
Oh, they're back. Go Solar. Up here in the top left, we got GuMiho, the Tal Terran. Where's that Tal today?
I see it. I see the corner.
Oh.
That was an interesting zoom in.
Oh, she put a lot of effort into this one.
Whoa.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh? What is that about? Oh, it's because he's always carrying around a blanket?
I guess. I
yeah.
mean, they don't really show too much resemblance to me, but
Well, I guess it's all about that towel, Valdez.
yeah.
That sweaty towel.
That towel must get really sweaty. I hope he washes it pretty often. You know what I mean? You don't want a sweaty towel. You
No.
can actually mess up the mouse, I think, as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've actually, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that condition, so I don't know actually how much it gets.
Also, well, I kind of take that statement back because I guess if you got a sweaty hand, you wouldn't want to put it directly on the mouse. It would probably be better to protect it with the towel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know if he actually puts the towel between his hand and the mouse, or just he puts that hand like underneath the towel while he uses the mouse. So it could, just be like something interesting, like the back of his hand sweats a lot or something,
I don't know. I think it's in between.
We haven't figured it out. We need to sit down with GuMiho and try.
We need to ask him about his condition. Just ask him if he's okay, if he's feeling all right.
That's really intrusive and rude. Tell us about your problems, GuMiho.
Yeah, man.
Tell us everything.
Hey, man, everybody's got problems.
Everyone's got problems.
Look at this. CC up on the high ground, just being
Yeah.
a little bit safer.
Well, not too much of a surprise coming from GuMiho as well. He does CC a lot first. He also loves to go for that mech, and I'd be so surprised if we don't see that this game, especially on this kind of map.
It's going to be CC first into gas before Rags.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Very greedy opening. Unfortunately for Solar, he's not going to be playing into any of that sort of handy CC first style. No early pool, no early aggression, just the same old hatch first in the pool under later gas. Going to get things up at a normal pace, play that normal game. I'm sure he's really thought about this match. See what he's got planned for this mech style.
Yeah. I mean, Solar said it himself. To mention again in that 10 questions, 10 answers about how he's been practicing a ton these days. He said somewhere between 8 and 10 hours every single day. He's really trying to get out of the slump. So today is a big day for him.
Yeah. Well, looking at his recent sort of stats as well, like Solar is just still one of those guys that just plays so much online. Too much online, actually. In my opinion, like, you'll never see like the most successful players like just constantly be playing these like online tournaments that are just going to be showing up your style, like really broadcasting how you're playing it, which is fantastic for people that are playing against him in Pro League especially, because they get to play this one matchup, this one map a whole week in advance, and they get to know exactly what's going on and dissect his play. So I always feel like it's such a mistake when we see players that do that.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Although we are seeing more and more of these players, even guys like Losira. I was looking, for some of his stats today because he is also playing a little bit later against Deer. And I saw that even he, a guy who's super successful in Pro League, he is also playing in a ton of online tournaments too. So
yeah,
got to be careful with that. But
that is true. But you'll never see, like, let's talk about the greats for a second. You never see like Life or Dream or Maru or Hero or Zest or any of these guys sit down and play these online tournaments.
That's true.
Never, ever. And I think there's a good reason to it as well.
Yeah, there definitely is.
No, that's not a third CC. That's actually a Starport.
Yeah.
Starport on the way. So Hellion Banshee most likely with this kind of setup. 2 gases already.
Yeah, for sure. We're finally seeing some more gas coming in here for Solar. He does put down that lair off of 2 bases.
Look at that, Valdez. No extra gases yet either. Only one
Just
gas.
that one, yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. Interesting sort of opening. See where he takes it from here. What's he going to try and rush for?
It's going to be Roaches pretty soon.
Yeah. So very quick Roach tier 2. So Roach with speed. Maybe going for like a Roach timing with fast speed so we can try and like just rush the front down before any tanks are in play perhaps. But we're already seeing this Banshee transition. So Hellion Banshee is going to do pretty well against any sort of early Roaches. Maybe a Nidus. Could be another thing that you might want to try. There could be some effect there.
There definitely can. I mean, you were talking about how this is a best-of-1 format. This is definitely something that GuMiho is not going to suspect. It's definitely not standard ZVT play or ZV mech play even. I mean, it happens occasionally, but it could be an interesting wrench to throw in. Just get a quick win off GuMiho here. We're going to see some Roaches popping out, but only 3 for now.
Only 3, and he's also getting Carapace behind this. Roach speed, Carapace. Interesting upgrades. Interesting tech choice. No doubt expecting the mech sort of opening, the mech sort of style, and he is certainly right at this point. You see an Overseer go through the main base, sees the barracks, and actually sees that nothing is being made from it. Now, finally, a tech lab being added, but what does it mean exactly? Nothing, Valdez. It means nothing.
I'm glad you cleared that up for us, Mingwei.
I didn't want that to be rhetorical. I needed to let you know.
All right.
Probably might even be Marauders just for some safety. He's also making a tech lab on that factory, so he could even just go into a couple of tanks behind this as well.
I don't know about Solar's plays so far. He's been playing very safe. He teched up very quickly off of 2 bases. He only made like 3 safety Roaches and made a very late third, whereas it was kind of like lining up here actually with GuMiho's third. So I'm much more liking GuMiho's position in this game so far. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm certainly agreeing with you there because he's not going to find anything with this. GuMiho scouted everything, and he delayed his third base so long for it. Like, why would you delay your third base this long on this map against someone going mech unless you're really afraid of some sort of 2-base timing, which is never going to happen, especially once the Terran scouts this. So, bit of a weird opening from Solar. Maybe like he's actually just in a way killing himself. He's just trying to think a little too hard about what he wants to do against this player.
I also love the fact that GuMiho off of the back of this, you're talking about how he got a full scout of the base of Solar, but he's like, okay, I just need to take everything into account, what possibilities are coming my way from what Solar is doing. He already has 2 turrets up. We do see Burrow and Burrow movement on the way, so as long as GuMiho has stuff in position, like a couple of tanks at his front door, he's also got some Thors, he should be okay.
Yeah, he's kind of getting ready for just about everything, and so long as he maintains this Banshee count and slowly grows it as well. And like he's even adding 2 Vikings at a time, so he's ready for a Muta switch. He's ready to get enough anti-air on the map, but he's at the same time with these Thor, with his tank, with these Banshees, he's gonna have enough on the ground as well. So long as he doesn't get really caught out by burrowed movement Roaches, he should be okay.
Seeing an Infestation Pit on the way, also a Hydraless Den. I think we may see a bit of a Roach Hydra Viper composition out of Solar to deal with this mech. We've seen some Zergs use this to quite a good effect. Actually, I remember a game on Bonnie Research Station. I don't remember quite who the Zerg and the Terran were, but
ooh, look at this. Look at these burrowed Roaches. They're going to snipe a tank at the very least here. They might even try to actually get into the main base, which would be huge.
Where are those turrets? It's at the mineral line. He's going to see him coming in now.
Oh, he misses the scan. He starts working on them now. They're going to be trapped in the natural, so one more scan should deal with them.
Yeah.
Nice sneaky play there.
And in fact, now just kind of trapped, and they're just all going to go down for no damage, actually.
No damage. And not even a run by into the third base either. You had a bunch of roaches on the map. You only realize now 6 roaches coming up to the third base, but all the roaches in the natural are going to be gone by the time they get there. So not much damage should happen.
Coming in here now to the third base, trying to get that turret canceled, but that's about it. They're going to be pushed away. Forces out a scan, but actually misses that roach. I think.
Waste the second scan. Damn. From here, he should be pretty immune to this early roach movement sort of style. And we're seeing the fourth base nearly finished for Solar, so he's going up to 4. Going to try and keep the economy ahead, up 1 base at least. And it should be, Velez, as you said, that Roach, Hydra, Viper composition. So it's going to be up to GuMiho to get enough Vikings out so he can start clearing the air, the one-shotting these Vipers if they come on the map, and just taking decent fights.
No. Maybe this was the idea from Solar and the Samsung GalaxyCon team, just to punish GuMiho before he gets to that maxed out mech, to try to do a lot of damage to him with burrow movement roaches, then eventually that Roach Hydra composition with the Vipers. Let's see if it works out here.
Well, it's such a hard map to do it on as well, because there's a 1 choke into your 3 bases, soon to be 4 bases. And if you got that covered off, you're never going to find any damage with burrow roach movement, burrowed moving roaches, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now he's like even putting a turret down the front. I'm sure we're going to see a sensor tower eventually as well. And there's just going to be no way. And there it goes. He's going to be queuing up 1 now. And soon he's going to be kind of impenetrable, impregnable. These words that I just never think of, Valdez, that I'm struggling so much with.
No, you're all good, mate.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you see a 4th base coming down? You see Overlord drop and speed coming through. Wonder what he's going to go for. Maybe he won't attack the front? Go for some kind of doom drop? I mean, there is 1 sensor turret out, but...
That would be an interesting sort of style.
If he could go along the left side, possibly, into the main.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all. But there is a pretty decent amount of Vikings out, currently sitting at, I think, about 7. And he would be able to wipe out Overlords pretty quickly, and he's adding more Banshees in as well.
He's even got a 2nd starport on the way.
Very heavy sort of Sky Terran style.
Yeah. GuMiho is just so good against this, at playing mech in general.
Oh, here we go. Actually, we're going to see an attempt early on. Nice scan there, and these Vikings are in position to try and snipe out these Vipers.
Yeah, I don't see this working out. Actually taking a bunch of damage in the front lines and even trying to attack before 2-2's finished. Maybe he's trying to hit this timing, just trying to poke here. But this is going to grab some of these Vikings.
Well, he does get a couple. He lost the Viper for it, though, and doesn't have enough energy left to do a Blinding Cloud. So essentially the attack is over. All that for 2 Vikings.
Well, looks like he may want to go for a drop, possibly. The Overlords are going over there, but no units. Maybe getting a position here to go for a bit of a drop. Maybe like a 2-pronged attack, like a drop while pressuring the front.
Yeah, that could very well be it. A bunch
Try
of
to get
roaches.
some tanks out of position.
Yeah. It would do a lot of work in the natural, the main base. It would put everything out of position. But with the air units we're seeing already from GuMiho, he could just clean it up with them. Like, enough Banshees, 4 already, and more on the way. Should be able to wipe it out pretty quickly and efficiently without putting his whole army out of position.
Looks like it's going to be a bit of a 2-pronged drop. One of them coming in here towards the natural. Uh-oh, a bunch of Hellions actually coming up to the third base. There's nothing to defend.
Oh, this is messy from both sides. One of the drops completely wiped out in the third base. Now, there's 4 roaches in the natural at the same time, but they're not really finding anything.
There are those Banshees you were talking about making quick work. These Hellions getting some decent damage done at the same time as those Vikings picking off an Overlord.
Well, GuMiho not paying too much attention to these roaches at the main and the natural. Shouldn't do too much damage though, and he is stabilized on 4 bases, and this is where Mech Terrans want to be until they've maxed out, essentially. They don't actually have to do anything else but defend and just enjoy this ridiculous army that they can make.
Yeah. Just kind of get the feeling that Solar's not doing enough damage to the composition of GuMiho.
Well, it hasn't been touched, essentially. He's never been able to reset the tank count or the Viking count or anything. No tech switches have happened, which have really put him off point. And a fusion core on the way. Wow.
Okay.
Why not?
Just making 3 extra starports with that as well.
Oh, Roaches trying to get in here. GuMiho should be paying attention. There we go. He's going to try and snipe a couple of tanks. And he should get them. Oh, only one.
Trading a bunch of roaches, possibly looking at clear of supply at the same time. Wants to make some more ultralists in this composition.
Yeah, only making a Spire now as well. That could have been a mistake from Solar, not adding that at the moment. He started upgrading the Hive. You want to have that threat on the map as well to go into Broodlords. So you can go Broodlord into Ultra and back into Broodlords. Manipulate that composition a little bit more from the Terran. Such a scary point at this point, though, because the Terran can make an army that's going to pretty efficiently deal with both techs. So things get a little bit more complicated and a little less cost efficient for the Zerg player.
See how Solar deals with the Banshee harass over here at the 5th base.
Well, I don't think he's going to have enough time. He actually should see these Banshees wipe everything out in a couple more shots. And he's going to get out alive.
He's going to save every single Banshee at the same time.
Oh, look at this. 3 SCVs up there, maybe to even repair. That is so cool.
It's pretty cute.
I love it.
Those Banshees can fly forever up there to the top right. Hydra's chasing way out of position. But GuMiho at the same time not really taking advantage of it. It looks like he possibly wants to move out now and clean up some creep. Has to be careful with these tanks, though. Don't want to be caught unsieged.
No, he's got to make sure he's in position, especially against Ultras and Vipers. That could get very ugly. There's also a number of Queens in this lineup, so which is going to help out a lot. And
I'm loving the Banshee play here from GuMiho.
Oh, yeah, this is so good.
He's taking away so much of the aggression here and the pressure out of Solar, too. Solar's bringing everything back, all those Queens and the Hydras.
Oh, he's going for the Hive right now. He's not going to get this one, but he's going to do a lot of damage to it. Oh, he might actually get a couple. All right. 3 remain.
Yeah. At the same time, like I said, he's just buying so much time here.
Yeah, he's going into BCs behind this as well. It's going to make the Ultra composition even less useful. Nice Viking counters as well already.
Wow. Sorry, Solar, you lost your Spore Crawler. What do you got to do now? You got to bring everything back. He's going to catch one Banshee. But again, we see these CCs that GuMiho made a bit earlier. He's bought himself so much map control right now. He's just got everything in perfect position in the middle of the map there. He's putting down more and more bases, making that BC switch like you said. And I don't know. It doesn't look like Solar's even identified that fact. That he's making more and more Ultras. It's not really what you want here.
No, and very comfortably, going to a 5th base as well. It's soon to be a planetary. On such a hard part of the map to try and engage in. Like, these corner expansions, these side expansions, they're next to such a nasty choke from both sides. They're so hard to engage into, especially if you got a planetary there.
Look at this. These 2 Banshees getting to work again.
Nope.
He's got to be careful, though, with all those Spore Crawlers. He's going to lose 1. And again, just freeing up some more supply for those BCs.
Yeah, look at that bank for Solar there. That is a pretty nice bank at this point. He's just playing so defensively, but now we're going to see an even bigger army of GuMiho come out, throwing away all the SCVs.
Yeah, there we go. He's just making more and more BCs. And what have we got here for anti-air here from Solar? He's got 10 Hydras and a bunch of Queens.
10 Hydras, 10 Queens.
That's about it.
That's it.
Here we go with the attack. Some pulls on some tanks. Trying to micro back the Spores, but here are the BCs, and doesn't look like there's much of an answer. A lot of transfuses coming down, but oh man.
That is way too much, and some Yamato cannons helping out against the Ultras as well. And now all these Queens are in big trouble. This army was just not the right choice against this. He was not expecting these BCs at all.
Yeah. And GuMiho was even preparing for the counter from Solar. He's got all these Vikings that are just floating awkwardly in the air. They're like, I thought we had a job to do, but Solar took that job away by just not making counter units.
Yeah, well, he can also just never make the units he wants to counter this army with. He can't go into Corruptors very safely. He's going into Infestors behind this and more Queens. That is not going to do the trick against BCs like this. Not 3-3 BCs.
And not this many even. 3 at a time coming out. He's got 6 now. He's got 9. And Solar already given up this 3rd base. He just has to. He has no other choice.
Yeah, look at this aggression. He literally marched across the map through so much creep just to start sieging up the base. He is so confident with this composition.
Seems like Solar's going to make a bit of a last-ditch effort. A decent bundle getting down on some of those BCs and a nice concave of Hydras.
Well,
But still, so many tanks remain in the back, shredding all the Hydras and the Queens, and everything of the Zerg is just pushed back.
yeah, what are you going to do with Hydras against this kind of army? You know, Siege tanks are always going to be there, Hellbats as well, and the BCs are going to take all the hits, and they're going to last forever. This kind of armor.
Now Solar, he's just trying to clean up the BCs with what he's got, making a transition into Ultras once again, but
Why would you make Ultras against this
I don't
many
know.
BCs, Valdez?
it seems like he wanted to take out the tank count, but
It must be it.
you got to deal with one or the other, I guess, but at this point, he's just way, way far behind.
I'd almost argue just trying to max out on Corruptors, wipe out the air army, then try and fight it from there. You know, go into Mutas, go into something else. Control the skies first, because that's where most of the damage is coming from. You know, even Banshee's in this mix. Everything is a problem in this army.
Solar now not looking too happy in that booth.
It's just an unstoppable army. Ultra's just getting Yamato cannon down. Very hopeless situation.
He's barely got any mining left. You see the scans coming down here. Those are offensive GG scans. And GuMiho is going to take the first game here with his very traditional mech style. The good old GuMiho we all know and well.
Yeah, he is actually way too good with mech. That looked absolutely insane. Solar gave him all the space he needed to just go into this ridiculous composition that can't be dealt with. He didn't even make Ravens with this army, you know. And that is one thing I look at and be like, well, that might be the weakness, because Corruptors will be a lot more efficient against this kind of army if there's no point defense drones. One thing to look at, one thing to maybe criticize, maybe it doesn't work. It's hard to say because he never actually tried. He got that Spire so late, so he never had upgrades for his air units either. So even if he wanted to go into Corruptors, it might not have been enough.
Yeah. What I take from this game is, like, I feel like Solar's in this still kind of experimental stage where he's in this slump. He's trying to get out of it. He's like, let me go for a different kind of style against the mech. Let me go for drops. Let me go for like a big ultra switch and try to just barge down the front lines, but it just did not work out for him at all. GuMiho just playing that style way too well. And Solar takes another loss. He's going to go to 1-10 and still is just not helping out a Samsung team.
No, that's just quite detrimental at this point. You know, 10 losses already this season. That is so brutal. It's a shame, you know, he only just won an international tournament with Gfinity. That was a lot of ZVZ there, and it seems like he is in the zone for the ZVZ matchup. He's doing fantastic there, but ZVT, ZV Mech, man, that's a whole new ball game, a whole different ball game.
For sure.
Especially up against someone like GuMiho. This guy has been doing it for years now.
And I'm so happy they're finally fielding him here for MVP. He's going to help this team out so much.
Next up, Valdez, we are going to be having Reality versus Younghwa. Another pretty interesting match.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this one. Younghwa recently taking the game off of Sari in Pro League. Then I think he went down to Classic in the Ace match. But
Yeah.
he was showing some decent PvT in recent times. But like, if you go back a month or two, he just takes so many losses to Terrans. But it's possible after that game we saw against Sari that maybe he's kind of shored up this matchup. I think we still got to see a bit more.
Well, especially against someone like Reality. You know, Reality is also a player that has not really had much success at all. You know, he's one of those Samsung players that just hasn't been performing. So it's a good shot for Younghwa. And he did look great against Sari, and it is on the same map, I believe. Oh, wait, let me have a look at that. No, Ashka's on Echo, so never mind. A better map for Younghwa even. So.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I did go ahead and vote for him. I think he may even just go with a bit of an aggressive style here with Reality. I feel like you said, Reality just hasn't shown us enough to put that confidence in him and to actually get a win here for Samsung.
Yeah, I don't have too much faith in Reality because he just hasn't shown good games in a while.
I mean, even if you look at the entire Samsung team, they've just fallen off so much. It's so sad to see for all these Samsung
it's so
fans.
Surprising as well. You know, this is one of these old school Kesper teams. They've just been doing so poorly, and it really is a kind of a shock and kind of a surprise as well. You think they'd be up there with SKT and KT and all those guys, bringing in some fantastic talent, but it just...
They used to be.
They used to be.
You look at last season, you had Solar performing amazingly. He was like their ace player, and now he's just totally fallen off. Deer was supposed to be that guy, and he's like the only person that sometimes gets wins. He's not even too consistent himself.
This guy just doesn't care.